Here is a Kenmore 2-speed dual cycle dehumidifier, and the fan is locked up. I don't think that this motor is going to want to come apart and go back together properly, but some people are saying that it does. But regardless, it's worth a shot because it doesn't work as it is, so if it breaks during the process, it doesn't become any less useful. It's a very nice looking machine. Brass faceplate and everything. Certainly don't see ones like this anymore today. Now the compressor on this one is all bent up. I believe this fell at some point. That's what it looks like. So we'll see what we can do with the compressor mounts, if anything. Yeah, see that compressor is all crooked. It should not be like that. So we'll see what we can do about that. It's pretty bad. We'll deal with that. Stuck on now. What the heck? Am I not seeing something? Yep, I was not seeing something. Here's our fan in question. And it's completely frozen up. I tried to oil it and it didn't fix the problem. I put a bunch of oil in the ports and it still does not freed up. AE. Well, this is that one with the bucket switch. But anyways, the fan is locked, so we're gonna get this fan freed up. Now it is stiff, but it doesn't seem quite as bad as it was last time. I have put a bunch of oil in there, and I was hoping that the oil would have seeped in over time and it would have freed up, but such did not happen. So, alright, we've got the orange wire. I'm going to write it down this time. Orange wire goes to the bottom right. The black wire goes to the middle. And the white is the common on the cap. So I guess it's a shaded pole fan motor. That's stupid. Okay, I've got that information. Now we can disconnect the wires here. I searched for replacement fan motors for these, and I really didn't come up with anything. Now granted, I'm not that good at searching on the internet for whatever reason, so I would not be surprised if there exist replacements and I just couldn't find them because that's the way it seems to be. Okay, here it is. Okay, I guess we're going to throw each screw on the floor. Except that one, and maybe not this one. I don't really feel like throwing this one on the floor either. Alright, here's our fan motor. It is definitely stiff. It's not going to work like that. So let's see if we can open this up, clean out the bearings, re-lubricate the bearings. Now my concern is that this is all, it's like press fit together. So I'm going to be surprised if we're able to do this, but I've been able to salvage a lot of stuff over the years, so maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. Now see, this clip is working the way these usually work, unlike that other one and that other dehumidifier. Alright, I'm going to begin with a stuck blade. So I guess the theory is that we have to bend up these old tabs. Wow, those are not easy to move. Wow, those are really not easy to move. Might be painted shut too. Before we go through all this, we should check to make sure this is not an alignment issue. I really doubt that it is. No, I can feel the resistance. It's definitely a bearings issue of some kind. Alright, let's keep going. You know what, I think it might have been hard initially to move this because it's like painted shut. Yeah, that was the problem. This is paint on here is sticking it shut. Alright, so that in theory I think opens all of those. So now, how does this come off? I don't know how far the winding's up, so I don't want to just stick a screwdriver in there. We've got to be kind of conservative with this approach here and make sure that we don't damage the windings somehow, because that we will not be able to recover from. Well, that was potentially very bad. Did I scrape any windings? Nope, I think we got lucky. Well, that was exactly what I did not want to happen, but fortunately I think the screwdriver missed everything. Interesting. Alright, so now we got to figure out what the problem is here. It's within the front bearing. Well, the bearing is welded, I think. Yeah, that front bearing. So what was happening was the bearing got so stiff that it broke free from the holder, I guess. That's kind of a weird thing to have happen. Well, this is going to be a tough one. And this is exactly why you don't run motors when something's wrong. I probably made this worse, whatever the problem is here, when I tried to test this. So we have to see if we can get this to go back in place. If we can get this to go back in place, then we can probably salvage this. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to get that to go back in place. Yeah, I think we can get it. How does it go? So it's got to sit. I wish we could get it in from the other side. That would be convenient. This is going to be tricky because these are not meant to be removable. So the fact that this came out is a problem. So it looks like right now, oh man, this whole thing is messed up. I think it's all like mangled. Yeah, there's little tabs in there that hold it, and I think this locked up and spun in there, and all these tabs are screwed up. They're all bent every which way and twisted. if I can straighten these out. Are they actually broken? Yeah, this definitely locked up while it was running. I don't know if that happened initially or when I was testing. It really doesn't matter. It's just a good lesson on the fact that you shouldn't run things that don't work right. I'm going to try to bend these back, but it's going to be very difficult to get this right. Each one of these is messed up, so I don't even have a reference point as to where they're supposed to be. Well, it's in there now, but it's not fitting securely, so nothing's stopping it from just spinning on there again. The clips I can't bend them back into the shape they're supposed to be. The clips are just too mangled. Well, we'll try it like that. I don't think that this motor should be trusted. But I'll just put that in there and see if it works. It might, or it might not. I don't know. We'll see if we can make it work, but it's going to be a tended operation only. This motor needs to be replaced because of the bearing having failed catastrophically like that. Yeah, look at that, it just pushed right out again. Well, we'll free it up the best that we can, and hopefully I can figure out a source for replacement motors for these. Yeah, it looks like, I don't think that you can really see this on the camera. It's not going to pick up properly, but I'll try to see if I can get this in the shot. Oh, maybe you can. Gosh. The clips that would have held this, they're all bent. And they're like turned sideways as if it locked up while it was spinning. And that's why it's just not going to be able to be correct again, because it should like click into place and be held secure, but it's not going to be with the clips at the wrong height and so forth. Jeez, that stinks. I don't know. It might work. I might be able to get it to work, but I still would not trust it to run unattended. I think the only problem that we might run into is if the alignment, right, aligning the bearings might not work right because it's not being held in place the way it should be. That's not terrible. It's too loose. I can't get it to tighten up because of the clips are bent. Let's clean off the shaft and give this the best chance that we can at working. Jeez, there's a lot of thrust washers on this thing. They're all sticky. Alright, that's the best we can do for this motor. The issue now is going to be the bearing staying in place or not. I'll throw a bunch of oil in here in hopes that maybe it'll hold on. But I don't have a lot of confidence in this thing because of the way the bearing is. I think it's not going to line up right. Yeah, it's gonna scrape on the rotor, on the stator rather. I don't think this is gonna work. We'll try it all the way through, but I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah, there's probably a good 1/8 of an inch of play in the shaft. Well, let's see what happens. I'm almost certain this will be a fail because the bearing is not held in place properly. But then again, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff work, so we'll try it. I'm not going to total something until I see it doesn't work. No, that's wrong. Certainly spins better than it did before, but I think once all the force from the motor, the magnets, is powered on, I just don't think it's going to work properly. Okay, so we said that the white goes to common on the capacitor. Black went to the middle of the switch, and the orange went to the right of the switch. Just confirm that that's correct. Yep. Alright. Let's see what happens. I think there's a very small chance that it might work. Let's see. No way. It works. Unreal. Well, that's why you always try, because you never know. Sometimes it works. Wow. That I was not expecting. The spin down is pretty good too. Well, that's impressive. I have impressed myself with that one. I really didn't think that was going to work. Well, let's see what we can do about this crooked compressor now. As far as the compressor is concerned, the mount is just annihilated. It's totally bent up on this side, it's bent down on this side. I'm not sure. There's going to be too much we can do for this, because it's easily an inch off or more. It's almost like I gotta put a crowbar or something under there to try to bend it back up. The problem is, once this bends, like, you don't want to keep playing with it because it's bent and like all the system and everything is rearranged to the bend, and when you bend it again, you kind of walk on a thin ice with that. But this is so off that I would be concerned that it might cause a lubrication issue. So the mount on the back has actually come off and it's just gone. The bolt. And this one on the left is mangled beyond all recognition. Man, that stinks. This is the second one today I've been working on like this. Why are these things tipping over so much? It's kind of a unusual thing to have happen, I would think. I've never tipped over a dehumidifier before. Not even in transport, I've never had one tip over. I'm going to see if I can start by bending this side down. See, we have no vantage point to start from. It makes this a very tricky angle to work with, because you can't put the leverage on it that you need to really bend it back in place. We're not making a whole lot of progress there. Man, this is crazy. I doubt that bolt's gonna come off. It's probably all sorts of screwed up. Oh. Or it's severed. That's what it feels like. It might be best to just try to put a bunch of spacers under here and leave the mangled mount as is. whole mounting stud and everything is totally bent. Yeah, the whole mechanism at this point has no interest in moving around much. And if we bend this up to be level again, it's going to hit the top unless we the other side to go down. I don't think that I'm really making any positive difference here doing this. Oh, that was good. That got it better. That's a little better. If it was like that, it's got to come almost an inch over here. You know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to put some I'm going to put a block of wood underneath this area here and just shim it up that way. Well, we got to get that old mount piece out of here though. If we shim this up to be like at least like that, I'll be content. It's just too bent up the way it is now. I don't want to run it like that. I want it at least like that. Put a small piece of wood under here, and a small piece of wood under the back one. Because I just can't get the leverage to bend this part of the mount back down. Unless if I take this out, do I have, no, it's not worth trying to deal with that. We'll just put some wood under there and call it a day. It's amazing what these things can survive. If a new one fell, it would just be busted completely. Well, I think we're going to go with that. The compressor is almost level and the fan is working. For how long, who knows. I'm going to try to find a replacement fan motor for that because I don't think that that motor should be trusted. I think it's going to have problems again. I'm shocked it's working at all. I really am. You know what? The whole machine is crooked. Oh man. Well, it's running. Running the best it can with a messed up fan motor. I can't believe that fan is actually working. That's incredible. I had very little expectation for that to actually work. It's pulled all the way through already. Having a 2-speed fan does make a big difference. It takes a lot of the fan noise out of the picture. It's still loud, but it's not as bad. That stupid bucket. Well, whatever. It's working. I don't know how. I don't know how that is working. But it is. The coil does need a cleanup. It's got some dust built up on there. But we might be able to just brush it off for now. Let's see. It's already sweating pretty good. It's very humid today. Yeah, this needs a proper coil cleaning, but for now we can use it for a couple of days just for the sake of seeing how it works. And then hopefully I can find a replacement fan motor for this. This is definitely a tended operation only with that fan motor the way it is. I still can't believe it runs. That's insane. Alright, that's got at least 95% of the airflow back. So let's go ahead and put this thing together, and we're going to use it. Yeah, the whole case is bent. You can see that it fell and the side is all busted out over there, and it's a mangled unit, but it's still running. It's so slanted. Can we fix that at all? I have to give it some time before I turn it back on now. So we're gonna put sideways. See, this whole thing is bent too. This I at least can kind of bend it back. Wow. Talk about messed up equipment. Well, it's a little better. It's still messed up though. Well, these casters aren't working the greatest. Looks like the problem is that this caster is actually bent. Is bent upwards. We've got to bend this caster down again. It's almost to where it needs to be. I guess this one in the back isn't doing anything. At least now it's sitting on all four legs. Well, this is definitely a testament of how much abuse something like this can take and just continue to work. It's amazing that this is continuing to operate properly. Absolutely amazing. Well, for now we're going to slip the cover back on and we're going to use this upstairs for a couple days, or as long as that fan motor is willing to hold on for. And when we have a day that's not raining, which there's not one in the forecast as of now, when we have a day that's not raining, we'll take it outside and give it a bath. we have one spare part. I'll have to keep that in mind. Is that a spare part? We should have 2 more screws for the guard. 1, 2. Duh, they're for the guard. I gotta get a hose cap to put on there. Unless I have another bucket that's not screwed up. Let's see what kind of condition this one's in. This one is not, is it the same? Bucket. It is. It's the same bucket. So we can use this one. I think that's messed up a little bit. Should be some tabs here that hold that in place. I don't know why the tabs are not working. There we go. Okay, it's back together, and I guess it's going to operate by some miracle. A dehumidifier with an AE. Doesn't get much better than that. I cannot believe that fan motor is working properly. That is just astounding to me. Now what clicked off? Was that the stupid bucket or the... A stupid bucket again. I might have to calibrate this. This is like the one thing about these units that was not very good, is this this automatic shut-off mechanism, and it has to do with the tension on this spring. And I believe you calibrate this by adjusting this nut. Okay, well that just removes it. So I guess that was already on maximum spring, because if we screw it No, it doesn't. Oh, I see. It's got different position. I see. 'Cause like that still was already on maximum spring, so maybe we gotta. If it's moving away, then we need less spring. Let's try this position. I'm not really too worried about the auto shut off. I'll get to it before it spills over. I check them every day. Usually multiple times a day. Yeah, see, it's got not enough. It's got too much tension on it, because that's the on-off thing right there. And then the second click is full. It's just barely hitting it. So we need even less tension than that. That's too little tension. Let's try like somewhere in the middle maybe. That's still too little. Let me go back to where we started. So that's unit on, full. I still think that's not gonna work. Try to bend it back a little bit. Unit on, full. I think that's reasonable. That seems a lot better now. Let's try that. These casters are messed up. They're nice ball bearing casters, but they're all bent from the fall. For a while, and then we'll come back and see how it's working. It's already starting to sweat. Only been on for what, 15 seconds? It's already wet. It's very humid today. It's quite hot, so it won't take long. This has been on for maybe an hour or two now, and it's working very well. The humidity has come down to 42% already, which is quite good considering it's 94% outside. So it's collected a fair bit of water. Not even any abnormal sounds from the fan motor. It's just plain working properly, which is baffling to me. This, I believe, is a 48 pint machine, so it's quite powerful. The AE sound is very pronounced, which is exactly what I was hoping for. This is low fan, and that's high fan. It's quieter on low, but it's still a bit noisy. Well, I don't understand how that fan motor is working, but it is. Probably end up using this in the kitchen for a while. The temperature today is only 74, so a little bit cold for air conditioner, but we need to do something about that 94% humidity. It's starting to get very uncomfortable upstairs.